So, if you were giving advice to a draftee this year, what would the first piece of advice be?
If I was giving advice to a draftee,
Someone who's expecting to get drafted.
it all depends on, I guess, what round he gets drafted in. I would say this, that any guy that get drafted, I would say, don't let the opportunity slide by. This is an opportunity for now that you can not just help yourself, but in help your family, financially. But I think that's the biggest thing, don't let the opportunity slip.
And speaking of family, how do you deal with all the family and friends calling you for updates, looking to hear the latest news from you?
On what?
On getting drafted. Like,
on draft, okay. All this is draft, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. On draft day in 1999 when I got drafted, everybody was calling saying what round they think, that I think I'll go in. And first thing I told them is I didn't know. I didn't know where I was going to go. Teams were calling saying that you'll be a first day guy, you can be a second day guy. The 49ers told me I was going to be, the fourth round pick, but unfortunately the Green Bay Packers took me in the seventh round. So it's a lot of pressure on you because you're trying to let your family know that they're going to be fine at the end of the day. But I couldn't promise them anything. I just told them that when the opportunity presents itself, I'll be there and ready.
And didn't you turn your phone off, or didn't you go out of the house?
I turned my cell phone off as far as family members and friends calling because everybody was wondering when I was going to be drafted. So I just kind of did the best thing possible and just cut the phone completely off.
Yeah. What would you do if you had to do it all over again in the draft experience?
I think if I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't change anything. I think God made it the way it was going to be. I don't think I could change anything that was going to happen. I think I've always said this though. I've said if I would have went first round, would I be the same person I am today? I'm not sure if I would, because so many things come with being a first round draft pick. The hype, the exposure, and I don't know if I could have handled that at an early age, especially coming straight out of college. The things I was doing, I probably wouldn't have been able to handle it. But I'm kind of glad that God put me where He put me. And seventh round draft pick. So now being all-time Packer leading receiver in history, I'm not complaining at all.
All right, and so that first press conference, when you're first getting introduced, what's that like? Do you have any advice for any players coming in, how to handle themselves, how to conduct themselves?
In the draft?
Well, after they get drafted and they're introduced
to the what?
To the local media, to the fans.
I've always said this, is that be respectful to people that's being respectful to you. And that's what I would tell guys, because if you're a first round pick or a free agent, it's going to be the same media attention as well. If you do positive things, you're going to get not as much media attention than you do when you do negative things. So I think everybody has to just keep a clean slate. I think that's the biggest thing. So if I could tell guys, is be respectful to the people that's going to talk about you day to day, because those people can either put you on a pedestal or they can tarnish you. So you have to be respectful to them.
And so, what's the best way to integrate yourself with your new teammates, veteran teammates? How as a rookie did you go about?
I've always said that you have to be true to who you are. Don't come in thinking you're better than those guys that's already there, regardless of what round you went in. Most first rounders come in and think they're better than the guys that's been there, 1 to 10 years. But, I've always came in and said that I'm no better than the next person. So I just wanted to be friends with everyone. So I kept a clean slate and asked as many questions as possible and got as close as possible to everyone, and it worked out.
All right, any do's and don'ts for meeting a future Hall of Famer or star in the locker room for the very first time?
Do ask as many questions as possible. Learn the game as quick as possible. Don't get too excited when you see certain guys that you grew up watching. So that's what I did when I first got to the league. I ran up to Brett like a little kid in the candy store, and I probably shouldn't have. But it worked out. We became best friends, and we're still best friends to this day.
Very nice. All right, we're going to shift gears and talk about training camp.
All right, training camp it is.
Right. If you're talking to a younger player, what's the biggest difference between college and NFL training camp?
The day-to-day grind. I will tell any rookie that's coming in is that, it's no more 2 days when I was there. You get the single days, but it's still a grind. It's totally different. It's constantly physical, hitting meetings all day long. It's going to wear and tear on you, but if you want to make it to the next level, then this is what you got to do. It's going to be a burden on you, but at the end of the day, if you make the team, you're going to be excited about it.
And did anything surprise you about that first training camp?
The first thing that surprised me about training camp is how many fans was out there. I had never expected it. I mean, I've had training camp in college and high school, and no one's out there. So it was surprising to see almost 8,000 fans around a fence screaming and yelling your name. At that time, they wasn't yelling mine, but just to yell in all the veteran guys' name back then, it was touching. That's something that I'll cherish for a long time.
Best advice for a rookie entering training camp?
Best advice for a rookie entering training camp. Make every play count. Don't leave anything. Never have any doubts. And that's what I would tell them, because I look at my experience, and I think every receiver that I play with, and that starts with Robert Brooks to Antonio Freeman to Bill Schrader to Corey Bradford, Derek Mays, Desmond, I think each one of those guys would say that I didn't let my opportunity slip.
Very nice. And any advice you would give a veteran?
They always come to get your job, so never let up. That's what I would tell a vet guy that's in there. Even when you think your job is secure, you're always on the bubble. And I think that's what kept me playing as long as I played, because I always felt like every year, regardless if I was a starter, I was a Pro Bowler, or a Super Bowl champion, I felt like my job was always in jeopardy. So always remember for a vet is that you're always on the bubble, regardless of who you are.